This is Veromnium signing on for today's episode of Seopolis Submerged 2, a pack where we are trapped in the middle of the ocean with nowhere to go. The air and the water are toxic and we must learn how to survive. This bubble is where we will start from nothing and grow to being able to explore the bottom of the ocean without any trouble. But for now, we are trapped in our glass cage with nowhere to go. This is Seopolis Submerged 2. Hope you enjoy. So, last time we started on working on, well, both compressed and create. And we decided to go with create because it's easier to automate. And yeah, I've set it up right here. We have a spout, a mechanical press, and a simple controller. The simple controller uses the exothermic water to make organic water, which gets piped into the spout. Hey, Rosalind, welcome in. So this whole setup here will make assembled gravel for us. We just need to put the last piece right here, which I did make. I just kept out of my inventory so that I never completed the quest. We'll hold the deployer. It'll do the deployer quest. And then we need to hold a mechanical belt and some engineer's goggles. So, mechanical belt. We'll hold that. That completes that quest as well. And then we can go ahead and click off sequential crafting. And then engineer's goggles, I did make. That completes totemic gravel. So, all we should need to do is put this deployer right here. It's facing the wrong way. Hold on. Whoops. Okay. Sand in this chest. I'm gonna have to put it on the spout just to make sure it stays in place. Like this. It's the wrong direction. Let's see if I can make a wrench. The wrench from create takes some brass plates. Okay, so we just need some brass. Okay. This sequential crafter can still be used to make plates because it has a mechanical press. Yeah, I can put it down everywhere except where I need it. So this should make the gravel we need, but even without the gravel, these machines will all stop stuff from traveling to do their action, so I can use it to make plates, which is really helpful. We'll make the wrench. Okay. We're getting there. There we go. Downward. Okay. So, we have a deployer holding sand, a spout filled with organic water, and a mechanical press. That is all set up and automated. We have a belt below it, which is what makes it automated, so that I don't have to manually do this whole process here. And we have andesite funnels. So you put your input in one side, it'll go on the belt, it'll do everything, and then go into the output, into this chest here. So, let's see about making some assembled gravel. Not that button, this button. So we completed these 5 quests here. It should just give us coins. Okay. I also did upgrade our storage module to level 3. That just requires steel. So I made some steel, did that, and made a steel paxel. More durability and more damage than my bronze one. So we should be moving on to monster mashing. Actually, let's see what this quest requires. 64 lapis and 64 totemic infused gravel. The lapis I can do no problem. I have a lot of lapis. I farmed some pieces, so we've got a lot of aluminum, a lot of lapis, a couple pieces of bronze, a lot of copper, a stack of iron is left, got some lapis, and we have some zinc and some tin. Most of that stuff has been turned into other items, so I don't have as much as I could have, but I'd rather have the items they turn into than the item. Okay, lapis chest plate is identical to the one I'm currently wearing, so we'll save it for later. And let's see what the next quest is. We need the assembled gravel. Okay. I started on that process. I have dirt in here. We've upgraded to lapis meshes. Yes, lots of quests, but we're going to try and 100% this pack, so we'll see. Lapis meshes are tier 5 and have a durability of 500. So before we were using tier 4, which means we were not getting as much stuff out of these as we possibly could. This one still just has tin because this doesn't actually need any specific tier of mesh in it. So this is the tin mesh, which is our tier 4 mesh we were using in our water strainer. Everything else has lapis. I have made a tier 1 speed upgrade and a tier 1 chance upgrade. These are made with bamboo or string and iron, and just lapis and iron. So, pretty cheap. I can't upgrade to tier 2 because that takes diamonds and tier 5 meshes. So I could upgrade this one to tier 5, but there's no reason to make a second chance upgrade, tier 2. But we need to start making some gravel. For speed, I think we'll just use this guy. So that we can start the whole process. It's a multi-step process still, which will take it quite a bit of time, but I'd rather it take the time than just not work. I've switched this over from blue to dark oak because for create using the andesite alloys and stuff, I need to be using regular Minecraft logs so I can use my paxel on them instead of having to use an axe. Also, our frog has escaped. I'm not entirely sure how he is on our roof now. He was over here in our little animal pen, but he can jump the fence, and I'm thinking he might have successfully fallen down this hole and then just swam out and around. But he might have been out here when I made this hole for fishing, and he just swam out this way. And yeah, the frog seems like he teleported, but I did make a giant hole into the toxic water right in the corner of my base. But I think he was on the roof before that, so I think he slipped out through the smaller hole. I also made a very rudimentary mob farm that is not super effective, but it's mostly in preparation for us getting the dreadful dirt. It uses encased fans on the inside. Here, we can pop it open. So on the inside, we have encased fans. They blow you at a pretty decent rate. And right here in the middle, we have a 5x5 of dirt, so that when we get the ability to, we can just spawn the mobs here. But once we get that ability, we will be removing these encased fans and replacing them with mob fans. It is a little difficult to get out once I get in, and down we go. Okay. But this is where the mobs fall. It is not far enough for them to die outright, so I do need to come in here and smack them with a sword or a paxel. But we get gunpowder, zombie drops, spider drops, skeleton drops, stuff like that. And then once we level it up to be using the dreadful dirt and better mob fans, we should be getting more items. Each of these fans is running at 256 stress units so that they blow far enough for them to go down the hole. So all fans are currently being run by one water wheel. Each water wheel is producing 512 stress units. And then we speed up the water wheels by quite a bit. And then I just used encased chain drives to make sure all the fans are blowing the exact same direction at the exact same speed. That way we don't have to worry about messing around with cogs and all that. So once we switch over to the different fans, those blocks will still be useful. But I do not... The only thing I need them for right now is that mob fan. Okay, we have a stack of gravel. We'll put that in this strainer with the upgrades. And then we'll have to take it from this and put it in our machine over here, our smeltery. We have so much fluid XP in here, and I still have no idea where it's coming from. Like, I can assume where it's coming from, but at the same time, it's not in any recipes where it's coming from. But we do need it. We will need it for the next tier of gravel. So currently we're going to work on making assembled gravel to get salt, prismarine, and prismarine. So prismarine crystals and prismarine shards. Which will allow us to get the dreadful dirt. And then we will work all the way down to living gravel. Living gravel is, once again, another sequenced recipe of the assembled gravel, and then ender pearls and fluid XP. I'm not sure how we're going to farm the ender pearls. So they are dropped from endermen, which will be, once we get the dreadful dirt, one of the things that we will get. But at the same time, it's not the easiest. The ender pearls will need to be farmed. And the only way to get that is from endermen being farmed, which means we will need enough ender pearls to start with that we can get the teleportation inhibitor. But once we start getting ender pearls and the inhibitor, we can start automating this whole process with the absorption hopper. We can start doing singularity tanks, which will start getting XP for us in the first place so that we don't have to worry about melting, but we will have to worry about melting. It's a whole thing. We'll also get iron spikes. And then the iron spikes could eventually be used to make mob mashers, but the spikes will be good enough for now. We will also need a mob fan width upgrade. We'll need 2 of them. And then we'll also need distance. The distance upgrades, I don't remember exactly how many we'll need. We'll be able to look into that once we have the fan. Mr. Magical Frog. So, we should be getting close with the gravel. But yeah, this is a whole process. We get the gravel, we purify it, We put it in the smeltery with leaves to make whatever the next step is. And then we have to bring it back over here and make it totemic. And then we have to take the totemic gravel and put it up in our sequential crafting up here. And then we can sieve it to get the products we need. I can't skip any steps. But at some point, hopefully relatively soon, we'll be able to get that entirely automated with Create. So we'll have it where this will make gravel, and then it'll take the gravel, put it into our purifying water. The purifying water will make purified gravel, then it'll go into an automated smeltery, and then with like 2 or 3 cloches with an item in it that drops only stuff that makes the water. And then that'll make the next tier of gravel, and then it'll be piped out again into totemic, and then that'll be piped out onto that whole process that we have going, and then that will pipe it onto the next process for the next tier of gravel. But it is going to take us some time. It is very complicated at the moment. Okay. Now we have to wait for the next machine. So we can start looking into what we need to produce in order to get it to the next tier. So we need sand. We know that. That's why I have this guy making gravel right now. I'm going to take the 39 gravel and start its process of breaking down so that we can get sand. We'll go ahead and grab the 2 speed upgrades and throw that in here. These speed upgrades are a lifesaver. It is so difficult otherwise to have to sit and wait around. That's why I did a lot of my just sitting and waiting off stream. This is still not pointed the right direction. I'm pissed. Why is it doing this? I thought I finally had this right, but it was still pointed the wrong direction. Okay. In. Okay, how do I get it to spin this way? Okay. 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 There we go. Now it's in the right position. Now we can take the sand and put it back into it. Okay, there we go. Now we're working. I hate Create sometimes. Okay. Making more sand while we wait for our gravel to be made. Yeah, it's currently like a 6-step process. It's quite frustrating. But that's why I've done a lot of little bits of farming off stream so that I can make sure that we have it all prepped and ready to go. We'll go ahead and throw this in the totemic. And we will steal a speed upgrade. And throw it in here. Okay. Having multiple going at once makes it feel like it's going faster, even though it overall takes the same amount of time. It definitely feels like, mostly it's just more efficient. It's less waiting around if you have everything going at the same time. Okay, we're almost done with the gravel to sand. And then we can start doing some automated crafting. Okay. Let's see. That's still working on the purified. This is still grinding into gravel. I might speed up this millstone. Because the faster the millstone goes, the faster it turns the cobblestone into gravel. But that's the only reason to speed it up. So I've been ignoring it. Because I can just sit and wait for it. It's not too difficult. But right now, with everything that I need to have it do, kinda need it to finish up. Okay, we're looking at 19 totemic. This should be done soon. Yep. With the refined. We will slap the refined in here. And then we just need the sand. Because for 64 assembled gravel, we will need 64 pieces of sand. Yeah, this whole process is starting to exponentially increase in the amount of materials needed to even get to the next tier of materials. I do have a stack worth of organic water in here. I think. Hopefully. I guess we'll find out. It might only be half. Because we're looking at 15 buckets of organic water. That is 60. So yeah, it's a stack. We have 64. For a second, I did my math and was like, oh, it's only 45. But no. 15 times 4 is 60. Okay, and I swear I know math. I don't even have to pull out a calculator to know that multiplication, but sometimes your brain just doesn't wanna. I think... Yeah, so this mob farm doesn't automatically kill monsters. So they will despawn. At one point we had a skeleton down here. I could see it on the minimap, but we did not anymore. Because we are far enough away that they do despawn. That's the reason I made it so far away, is because for mobs to spawn, I need to be 24 blocks away. If I'm too close, they don't spawn, but if I'm too far, they also don't spawn. And if I'm too far away, they despawn, so... Okay. That is all of our sand. We'll grab this other speed upgrade and throw it in here so it makes that totemic gravel even faster. Okay, we'll do sand in here. We'll go on down. I'm going to start the process of making more gravel. Because for that CC2 quest, we need totemic gravel. So I will start making that. Get pebbles. Yes. Okay. Make cobblestone. And then we throw a whole stack into our little millstone here. And then should be almost done with the totemic gravel, so we can start the process of automated crafting. Totemic gravel. Fantastic. And then we have a stack of sand, a stack worth of organic water, and our mechanical press. Totemic gravel in one side. It slaps it, it sprays it, and then it stomps it. we have assembled gravel. This is relatively slow, so I can build it much larger and take care of all that, speeding it up and everything. We have assembled gravel. Now, to make prismarine crystals, what tier of sieve do we need? Tier 5. Fantastic. We're going to take all 5 of these. We're going to come down here and take the 2 speed upgrades and our chance upgrade. Into our water will go all 3, and the assembled gravel. So hopefully we get, yes, prismarine crystals. We need crystals, shards. Crystals and shards together will make lanterns, which is how we make the fans. And then the crystals are how we make the grass, the dreadful dirt. That will allow us to multiply our mob spawns. Okay. Salt, crystals, and shards. Salt just makes salt blocks. We'll create salt water, which we will need 4 buckets of in order to do this craft. We will need corrupted prismarine, which is in salt water. So we will need 5 buckets of salt water, which means we will need 45 pieces of salt. At least, I think. Unless it's 4. If it's 4 salt to a block, yes, thank God. We will need 20 pieces of salt, not 45. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take out this tier 1 speed upgrade, which only decreases the duration by 50 ticks, and put in an additional chance upgrade, which is an additional 10% chance. And these only have like a 20 or a 15% chance, I think. The tier 5, yeah, they have 10 and 15 and 5. And so this should make it 25-35% chance of getting salt, hopefully. Unless it's not additive, but multiplicative, in which case it'll be nowhere near that. I don't want to do the math. I could do the math, because it's 20% of 5, and then an additional 10% of that number. Which I think would make it 6, and then 10% of that is 0.6, so it would be a 6.6% chance of salt. But if it's additive, then we have a 35% chance of salt, which is way better. I still need 20 of them, so that's going to take a minute. But we'll see, we'll see. I am overall creating a stack of this gravel. So we should get plenty of ore pieces, first of all, which is going to be good. And then we should get plenty of prismarine stuff. So I need 1 lantern so that I can make the mob fan. And then we need 2 corrupted prismarine crystals. They also want me to make just a piece of prismarine. Not for any reason. Does it do anything for me? No? Okay, I can strain it in salt water to get coral. That makes sense. I was like, if it doesn't do anything, why would I do it? No, it gives us a chance to get coral blocks. Which would be pretty, but not required. Okay. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. This mechanical press is the part that takes forever. Everything else is relatively quick, but the mechanical press is really slow. So, I can speed it up, so we'll have to fix that. But for now, it's okay. I also used a copper hopper over here. I don't know what the difference between a copper hopper and an iron hopper is, considering they both have 5 slots. It does oxidize. So this was a regular hopper, a copper hopper, so like an orange color, and now it's blue because it oxidized. Although I'm not entirely sure if there's oxygen in this tube, because the air outside is toxic, which makes me assume there is not oxygen in it. But whatever, it's Minecraft. It's not supposed to be realistic. Alright, we're almost done with the gravel. Ow. I need more buckets. I have 3 here. I do have more terracotta, so I can just make 4 more buckets. That didn't take any of the terracotta. Is it making it out of blue terracotta? Can I do that? I can. Fantastic. This one right here with the totemic water, we are going to temporarily take the water out. We're going to swap over to a lapis mesh. We're going to make some salt water. Alright, we are done with the gravel. We can throw the last bit of it in here. And then let's go make some salt water. Okay. 5 blocks of salt. Gives me another block of salt, so I didn't need to do that. Now we have salt water that we can craft. Or I need another bucket. We're gonna run over here. Grab some water. Go over to this corner. Take a little bit of damage, turn it into salt water. Salt water doesn't hurt me. And then we're gonna put the salt water in this strainer. We are gonna grab some crystals. Okay, there we go. And then we're gonna grab the chance upgrades and the speed upgrade out of this guy. And then we need 2 prismarine crystals turned into corrupted crystals. Okay, it made us 1. It made us 2. Fantastic. Exactly what I needed. And now we're done with this salt water for now. So we'll put totemic back in it. And then we need a sea lantern. This side. Okay, let's make a lantern. That should complete that quest for us. There we go. Sea lantern, and then we will turn that sea lantern into a mob fan. Oh, I need stone slabs. And then we need 2 width upgrades. At least. Which means I need feathers. So it's time to call some farming. I need a lot of feathers. And I can always summon more chickens with the totemic ritual. So we will kill all of the chickens. We have 13 feathers. Of course we do. And then we'll throw all of our eggs that we picked up to see if we can get 2 more chickens. Fantastic. We can restart our chicken farm. So, now that we have the feathers, it's raining outside. We need 1 more range or width upgrade. And now we need range upgrades. So I need to see how many I need. So it pushes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I need 2 range add-ons. Range upgrade. Let me just look up fan. Distance upgrade. Distance requires redstone dust. That's stupid. Okay. So that's gonna have to wait. God. Because in order to get redstone, we need the living gravel. This sucks. Let's make the cursed chicken feed then. Let's see. We're gonna see if I can do the same thing I do with the coal and just drop it in. I can. Fantastic. Okay. 4 buckets of salt water. I shouldn't have killed all the chickens because I do need 1 chicken to turn into an egg. Whoopsie daisy. Guess we're gonna have to go summon some. I need my flute. And I need my maraca. Or do they call it a rattle? Yeah, there it is. I haven't been back to this totemic area in a minute. Oh, it should be rattle. Rattle? Yeah. Okay, there we go. And a phantom. I got a phantom membrane. Phantom membrane might be useful, so we'll just have to see. Okay. I can make phantom paste, jet boots. Or summon a phantom. I can also do slow fall. So mob distance upgrade. Is there a way to get redstone that I don't know of? If I can bulk wash crushed raw iron. So I need to get into crushing. I can do that. I can skip a step by doing that. If we put Potion of Strength on Cinder Flower, we get redstone. So we'll just have to see. Yes, yes, yes. I break redstone ore, obviously. The redstone ore pieces comes from the gravel we're about to make, which is the living gravel, which I think No, I need to spout it. Unfortunate. Okay, so we're not going to be able to do distance upgrades for a little bit, but that should be okay. Not seeds, feed. GM chicken feed cursed. One of these. I don't have any bone meal. That's yes. Guess we're grabbing some purified dirt. It's gonna take up so much space. Chance, speed, and speed. I need 2 pieces of bone meal. That's it. That's all I need, is just a little bit of bone meal. And I could go grab the bones and just make bone meal, but I have the dirt, so I might as well. Great. I'll just let that run. And then chicken feed. Okay. We have cursed GM chicken feed. We're gonna go make a rotten egg. While we're here, we might as well make a piece of prismarine just to get the quest out there, because it's not an optional quest. And we should have 3 chickens down here. Or it might just be 2. It's 2. He pops and gives me a rotten egg. Now, I need a lever. Just a regular Minecraft lever. Lever. Whatever. Whatever the word is. And then we're gonna run over here. We're gonna really quickly turn off this fan so that I don't get blown super far out of space. Mr. Skeleton, I don't need you in here. Thank you. We're gonna remove this center fan here. We're gonna put a mob fan with 2 width upgrades. So it should hit this entire space. It does. Fantastic. And then dreadful dirt. Fans in place. Shaft. Okay. Now we should be able to do this. And then let's run down and see how it's doing. Okay, some things die when they hit the ground here, which is okay. We have choo-choo jellies. We have skeletons and creepers. And we have a spoils bag. Gives us claws and cake. Cool. There is an enderman here, so we're gonna hit that. These slimes can hit us through the block, which hurts. I need that witch dead. So we should upgrade to pipes or spikes as soon as we can. Okay. It definitely works. It works quite well. I have my 3 ender pearls. I have a spoils bag that gives me a copper coin, 2 fortune cookies, and a piece of kelp. Okay, now I need to go use these 3 ender pearls to make a teleportation inhibitor. So... let's go ahead and do that. Run all the way over to my crafter. Well, it's technically storage, but... ender pearls into an inhibitor. Come on. Might have been easier just to look it up instead of searching. Yeah, because I missed it. Okay. Craft me an inhibitor device. Just one. And then we will need a bunch of spikes, but we'll need a bunch of iron for that. So for now, we might have to settle for just a couple spikes. Because it is expensive. Because it takes... what is it? 15 pieces of iron per. We do have witches. Witches have a chance of giving us redstone. Might need to get an actual sword down here to do sweeping attacks. The choo-choos hurt. God, the choo-choos are hitting me from so far away. I definitely need the creepers not to explode. Okay. One clear. We've got a golden chest plate with the Vex armor trim of emerald, which is cool. We have a slime pearl. We have a green choo-choo charm fragment. 2 recovery hearts. We do have an ender pearl. And I do need this ender pearl. So... let me throw just all the junk up here, and I need to hold the kinds of jelly. I need to hold the rotten flesh, the bones, the gunpowder, and the spider eyes. I think that's what it was, and then I need to hold slime balls. Okay, let me grab my stuff back out of here. So yeah, we will definitely make... remember to feed the cattle. Thanks, Fortune. But we will definitely be making spikes, because the fact that the jellies can just smack me is kind of annoying. Because I'm just taking damage. It's dealing durability to my armor. I'm taking damage. We'll have to make sure that that stops happening. Eat another fortune cookie. Winners never cheat and cheaters never win unless the winners cheated, in which case the cheaters won. That's not a fortune. Whatever. Okay. Done with all this. We'll throw it all up into the system. We're already almost out of space again. We're at 269 out of 300. We've got like 30 spaces left in our storage system. So we need an upgrade stat. Let's see. Okay. I should be able to reuse this to make the living gravel. Because we just need an ender pearl fragment and fluid XP. We also need more assembled gravel. We'll have to go through that whole process again. But let's focus on making our mob farm as efficient as we can at the moment. And that will require iron. So we will go ahead and mine up the iron. We have 33 pieces of raw iron. We'll go ahead and get that smelting down. And then I threw my ingot casts into my system. Ingot molds. Alrighty. Okay, these will start pulling out iron for me. And then... yeah, we just need a bunch of iron. I have a little bit of iron as is, so we'll do that. So I want iron spikes. So I need iron swords and blocks of iron. So my thing is 5 wide. So I'll need 5. And then I'll need 15 swords. Apparently 5 blocks was all the iron we had. Of course, of course. So I just need 30 pieces of iron. Okay, that's 14. I should only need 3 spikes, if I'm remembering how they work properly. So we should be able to do it a lot easier, actually. With 3, we just need 9. So when I hit 4 and it creates 1, it actually just gives me 3. Do iron spikes. Tell it to craft me 8, it gives me 3. And I believe that this quest gives me more. Yeah, it gives me 3 more. Coolio. Okay. I'm gonna need cooked chicken. And I'm gonna need a steel sword. Steel sword, which doesn't use a stick, it uses an iron ingot. That's fine. We're gonna clear it out and put spikes down just the center. Because being next to it still damages you, if I remember correctly from setting these things up before. And we're using a sword because of the choo-choos. Because the choo-choos have 1 HP. they deal damage to me, so... Okay, and now we'll switch back over to using the Paxel. I just need access to the center block. And I could cheat, but I don't want to. Because I could just turn it to peaceful for like 30 seconds. Which I don't really consider cheating, but it is technically cheating. Like, it's not like cheating, but it's definitely not in the spirit of the game to just be switching versions in the middle of it. Let me put down a spike. Just one. Okay. That makes it so things die when they touch the middle. That's what I need. We're gonna put one there. And right here where they're standing. Okay, so those 3 blocks in the middle should be enough to take care of all of that. Okay. The one downside to the spikes is that the spike does not count as player kills. So, it's a little unfortunate. Because it means that we won't get, like, spoils bags or anything from it. So we're gonna do a little cross in the middle like that. And then that should be good enough to automate this. Okay. Can I use this stuff for anything else? I can make a red potion, which restores all hearts. I can turn the green choo-choo jelly into slime balls. And the same with the blue. And same with the gold. Alrighty. We're gonna go ahead and put that right there. Okay. There we go. We have a pretty much fully automated mob farm. We are getting the reliquary drops, which allows us to craft reliquary items, which is cool. Specifically, the slime pearl is the one I'm interested in. Because if we can get a nebulous heart and a batwing, we can get a coin of fortune, which works like a magnet. So, all we should need is the mob masher and a fan. So, I can work on that. I can make 2 more fans, no problem. Should have some stone left, we do. Make me some more stone slabs. That's enough for 2 more fans. So, the mob fan requires the sea lantern. The sea lantern is not hard to craft. Okay, give me 2 sea lanterns. Give me 2 mob fans. Okay. I need one width upgrade. Alrighty, grab all my iron out. That should be all the iron I actually have now. And then we just need 2 levers, and then we are good to go. So give me 2 Minecraft levers. And then we can actually make it so it uses 1 spike instead of however many we are using in there. So yeah, we have stuff like this where they're not fully going in. So we break this slab to a mob fan. Needs to be facing the other way. Okay. Should end up in this chest before too long. There it is. Oh, we are getting spoils bags. Nice. These are just like loot crates. Okay, we're gonna mine these 2 blocks away. And hope that in the meantime nothing bad happens. And we are going to do no. No, 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 no. Okay. So, this fan here, there we go. We will power it on with 1 width upgrade, so it should go the entire width there. It does. And then we break the spikes. Our hoppers are backed up a little bit. I believe the spoils bags only drop from Enderman. A snow cookie. Cool. There is this gap here, which is not intended. Which is not good either. Put that block back. And we will get rid of these mobs. Let me put spikes down in this corner. Please. Beg of you. I hate the choo-choo jellies. I hate them. They hit me from so far away. Okay, let's turn off the fan for now. And then we can do this fan right here, and then turn on both fans. They get blown all the way over there. And then this fan pushes them into this corner, where there is a spike. Okay. Now, this should be fully automated. Next, I'll have to go through and replace all these wooden hoppers with copper ones so that they don't get all backed up like they are. Once I get enough of these charm fragments, I can make a charm, and then they'll just never attack me again. But for now, we'll just have to deal with it. But yeah, the witches are going to be the most useful mob that we're getting out of this. They drop sugar, glowstone, bottles, potions, sticks, and redstone. Or have a chance to. So, once we upgrade our spike to a mob grinding unit, that grinding unit can have luck upgrades put in it, and that means that our system will have looting, and that will increase our chances of getting the higher grade materials from all these mobs. Alrighty. Yeah, see, that witch dropped some sugar. We're getting so many mob drops, including arrows, so if we ever want to start using a bow, we 100% can. I'm gonna grab all the stuff that comes from the little loot bags. We're also getting recovery hearts, which I assume I just use to heal. Guess I can test it. I am without a couple hearts. Yeah, if they pop into your inventory, you just heal. Alrighty. Hey, this is great. We could do the exact same thing with delightful dirt. Delightful dirt comes from golden eggs, which comes from nutritious chicken feed, which requires buckets of experience, which we can get now. So we can actually do that and upgrade our animal area. Let's do that. Why not? I needed anything to put in the mob thing. Whoops. Yeah, the spikes don't do insane amounts of damage, so it does still take a second for a lot of these mobs to actually be damaged. Let's do rotten flesh. Yeah, we'll do rotten flesh. Okay. We can turn the rotten flesh into experience, and then we have that spout, and the spout can put the experience into the buckets, and then we can take those buckets and make delightful dirt. This guy right here. So each piece of rotten flesh makes 100 millibuckets, so it's 10 per, so we need 40. 40 rotten flesh in the hopper. That should fill this with experience. Hopefully. Fluid XP. Yes. Fantastic. So we'll just have to wait for that. In the meantime, we can throw everything else in this system. We have claws from Forcecraft, which allows us to make... It puts an enchantment. So sharpness or power. Cool. The snow cookie allows us to make a freezing core, which can be put into a forcecraft furnace to make stuff, which is cool. We can make a bucket of water into packed ice. We can make cobblestone into stone without smelting. Turning sand into sandstone, that's going to be useful. That's going to be so really useful. Because if we make sand freeze into sandstone, we can then take the sandstone and put it in our mill, and it gives us 2 sand back out. So we're going to have an infinite source of sand. Like an infinite loop of sand. It's going to be great. We're going to start the process of making the assembled sand again, so that we can, or assembled gravel, so that we can make the next one. Well, why didn't that make all I needed it to? Oh, because it gives me 20, not 100. Rotten flesh is practically useless in this. Hold on. We're gonna have to grab a lot more mob drops. Luckily I've got infinite of them. This works a lot better than I thought it would, to be honest. Especially with like the experience being collected and all that, that's good. We can also look at getting an absorption hopper. Oh yeah, absorption hopper is gonna be real easy. And then singularity tanks just require 5 pieces of glass. Holds 32 buckets of fluid. All right. So we're gonna grab some slime balls, more rotten flesh, some bones, these ender pearls, and some choo-choo jelly. And we are gonna make XP. We'll need it in order to make the gravel. It's gonna be good. First things first is we're gonna sleep. Nighttime means that mobs are spawning on top of our base, which reduces the amount of mobs that can spawn in our mob farm. So just a precaution. Okay. Let me make this absorption hopper. So we need a regular hopper, and then we need an absorption hopper. Fantastic. Now we don't need to worry about replacing all of the hoppers that make up our floor into copper or regular iron, anything like that. The absorption hopper should take care of all of that for us. Okay. Absorption hopper, items are going to go down. Its area should be the entirety of this. We're going to shift it south a little bit. We're going to shift it a little more south. And then we're going to shift it down. Up one more. Okay. There we go. This absorption hopper will collect everything that doesn't go into the hoppers. And then we're good to go. The hoppers currently collect everything, but once we start using a mob masher with the luck upgrades and sharpness upgrades and possibly even beheading upgrades, we're going to be dropping a lot of items, and the absorption hopper is going to be required. We should now have fluid XP. Good. I just need some buckets. Grab the sand, and we're going to turn this sand into glass so we can do a singularity tank to start collecting the XP from our mob farm. And then we'll go bucket. Right on the line there. It'll fill it up. Ceramic fluid XP bucket. Okay, we're going to throw in a stack of slime balls. Because the slime balls should also make fluid XP. They do. They actually make more. Cool. Snowballs. Snowballs can be used in crafting to make snow cookies. Or melted into water. Specifically chilled water, which is better for smelting. Which is cool. We're gonna say another bucket. Another bucket. Okay, it's got 85. It needs 1,000. Oh, it's still smelting. We'll see how much we have after it smelts everything to see how many of these choo-choo jellies we need to put in. Gold choo-choo jellies smelt into 25. So it should be a nice even number. We have 560. So we need 440. Divided by 25. So 17? I guess we'll see. I'll just do them one at a time until it works. I think the rotten flesh kind of screwed it over a little bit. Because now it's off by like a multiple of 5. Or not a multiple of 5, but 5. It's off by 5. Because yeah, 60, if we put another 25 in there, it's going to be 85, and then we need 15. But I believe we just need 40, so I think I have some rotten flesh. I have 1 piece of rotten flesh. How much do bones give? Bones are also 20, so 2 bones should finish this. And then we don't have to worry about it. I don't have to calculate exactly how many we're off and do all that. It'll just do it for us. Okay, exactly 1 bucket. We've got 4 buckets of fluid XP. We have nutritious chicken feed. Oh, can this not be done with ceramic buckets? It can't. Bummer. I need 3 more of these. And then we'll just transfer it over. That's okay. Standing in it takes my hunger and turns it into experience points. So that's an effective way to kill someone in Minecraft with mods, is to just have them land in fluid XP. And then they've got no saturation left. Okay. Now we should be able to make the nutritious chicken feed. And then we go feed this to a chicken. And it'll give us a golden egg. Like from a golden goose. It's not my birthday, but thank you. Yeah, that song will play every single time we try and make a golden egg. Okay. Golden egg. On the grass. And it spawns creatures. We've got starbunkles. We've got fairies. It'll spawn in cows. Spawns in whirly sprigs. And we will need some of these. Because we can actually do stuff with Ars Nouveaux. Starbuncle and whirly sprigs, if we give them certain items, they will give us what they call a gift. And that's used in crafting recipes. So, it's good that we are getting them spawning in here. The starbuncles are fast as hell. But, there we go. Golden plant. Throw in all of our buckets and our ender pearls. And our iron. I don't know why I'm still holding on to that. Okay. We should have, yeah, 64 purified gravel. Let me make a tank. There it is. I will craft 4 of them, because I can actually turn 4 singularity tanks into a much larger tank. And that's what we will be doing. I'll also need an XP tap, which requires aluminum. And an XP singularity drain. But we'll have to figure out if we want to make that. And then we'll come back down here. The large slimes can't fit through the gap, so I'm going to have to get a spike and put it up there. And then, actually this is the wrong side. We'll grab the singularity tank and it'll go right here. And that is to the east. To the east will be the fluids, and it will empty all of the XP. Look at that. We have 13.5 buckets of experience in this right here. That is a lot. And then we'll climb back up. Let's pop this open and see what we see. Yeah, they are... There we go. Because the fans are not the best, so they can actually fight against the fans. But at the end there, I put, what are they called? Trapdoors, so that the monsters think they can stand there, and then they fall anyway. That way, I don't have to put, like, water or extend the fans too much, that kind of stuff. And then, of course, we're gonna need another 2 stacks of leaves. Because we're gonna turn all this gravel into the next step so that we can make it totemic, and then we'll need to make it assembled, which means we're gonna need more sand. This is all just so great, which means we need more cobblestone. We don't have a stack of cobblestone. We're gonna need 2 stacks of cobblestone. That's okay. We have more leaves, actually. And then we can turn these leaves into mulch, and then the mulch be turned into dirt, and then the dirt to be turned into cobblestone. So we are good. So we will just slap down a bunch of leaves. And then break them with swords to get the mulch. Okay. Okay. Now we just need swords. I should have a couple wooden swords in here. We're going to use those first, just to clear up some inventory space in our crafter. Well, it's not a crafter, it's a storage block. And then we'll use our steel one. Okay, there we go. We will gather up all the mulch. Well, leaf piles to be turned into mulch. Because it's still the only way for me to get cobblestone. And it will be for a while. Because we still need to make living gravel. And then, with the living gravel and a redstone mesh, then we can get scoop. So, let's see. Charged matter, stormy, star, fiery, icy, assembled, living. There we go. The living gravel gets us redstone, turtle scute, amethyst, one other. There's gotta be one other. Or no, it's just those three. Redstone, scute, and amethyst. Alrighty. Then just throw it in here and make dirt. So we'll come back over here, go, hey, refined gravel. Let me guess, it's out of fuel. Yep. This constant back and forth is both hilarious and frustrating. So I need coal. And I need a bucket. Ceramic bucket will do just fine. Then I come back over here. I go over to my little hole in the ground here. Coal. No. Do not need to be burned by exothermic water. Sooner or later, we'll be able to finally do it with lava instead of having to sit here and do a manual water recipe. But for now, the exothermic water works just fine. Okay. Now it'll finish up with the gravel. Hopefully this doesn't take too much longer. But of course it's going to, because it's the way it is. So we need to turn the totemic gravel into assembled gravel, but that requires sand. So we're not going to do that right now, but I'll do that between episodes probably. We will make I will turn the first 64 totemic gravel we make into the quest. And then I'll focus on turning sand back into this stuff. So in CC2, we need totemic gravel. And then it'll give us a Paxel of Luck, which always has some levels of fortune on it, but they gave us Fortune 5, Efficiency 3, and Unbreaking 3. So this is a good Paxel for mining ores. Oops, that's the wrong order of buttons to hit. Chapter 2, once we get that, we will need to turn in Amethyst, which will give us Budding Amethyst. And we need a task screen for 64 buckets of fluid XP. And then it'll give us a mob masher, so we don't need to worry about crafting it. We just get it, which will be amazing. And then Chapter 3 will be Netherrack, which gives us Resource Fish speed upgrades, and Molten Blaze, which will give us Super Coolant. But then it'll give us a Speed 3 thing for our Strainer. Chapter 4 will give us Glowstone and Snowballs, which is just fine, I guess. But it gives us a Cloche speed upgrade. So we can speed up our Cloche so that we can create a system that just automatically creates all the gravel that we need in Step. Frustrating, but not impossible. Come down here. Oh. We'll do the refined gravel. Grab these upgrades, not the mesh. We'll slap them in here and make the totemic. And then we are going to see if we can repopulate our chickens a little bit. We are just gonna blah. I don't think we've spawned a single chick. Okay, we've spawned one. Cool. So cool. We turned 3.5 stacks of eggs into one chicken. What a waste of my time. We'll get the speed 1 upgrade in here so that we can get the cobblestone required to turn into sand. We'll go ahead and claim these quests to get all our little tokens. We did get 1 dreadful dirt. Cool. We're also just going to be hearing that chinging noise. I think overall from the eggs, I have in total gotten, let's see, like 8 chickens the entire time I've been farming chickens. Goodbye, Mr. Skeleton. Okay, before I do this, let me grab a thingy. I have these 2 little tokens here called Death Stones. They will teleport me somewhere. So we're gonna hop into my mob farm. We're gonna put down the dreadful dirt, and then we're gonna teleport out using a Death Stone. That's the plan. And jump in. We're gonna smack the ground. Break that block there. Put down another piece of dreadful dirt. We're gonna walk back over if we can. Cool, 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 cool. That's very helpful. Okay. Okay. Good. Did it without needing that. Deathstone was just in case. Okay. Run back over. I don't need this prismarine or the deathstone right now anymore. We'll drop on down. How's the totemic gravel doing? We're at 37. Okay. We'll begin the process of making the gravel, because that's going to take a minute. Can't wait till I can use Forcecraft to just infinitely produce sand. That'll be nice. We're going to take this speed upgrade back out and throw it in the totemic gravel. Okay. Every once in a while, I will come in here and clean up all the dirt, the grass. Because the grass there stops the spawning of creatures. We now have dragnees, too. So many Ars Nouveau creatures. Okay, I know you know that this gate works, but I don't want starbunkles just running around my base. But whatever. There you go. Have fun. They're gonna fall into a hole into the water and just drown. Like the octopus in the middle of here somewhere that just died. Right over here. There he is. Flip. Tentacles. Okay. This totemic gravel going into this quest. Gives us the Paxel of Luck, which I want to use on all of this. So we are going to put down all of the ores and use this with its Fortune 5 to see how much of each of these ores we get. It is not going to be my regular everyday Paxel. That's going to continue being the steel one because of its durability. But I definitely want to mine my ores with one with fortune, so that I can maximize the amount of ores I get. So that I can minimize the amount of time I need to spend on this whole dumb gravel process. Okay. I have 2.5 stacks of copper from 16 pieces of copper. I'm gonna say that I think the fortune works. But at the same time, it is now half broken. I'm gonna need to make a thing. In my modifiers table, I can make a repair modifier. Just requires black brick and an anvil. But I can set up a little smeltery like up there that goes directly into that block there, and then we just pump in like, oh, I need to repair my lapis paxel. Let me tell it that it needs to repair a lapis paxel, and then it will take my lapis and repair it using fluid lapis so that I don't have to waste a anvil. We are gonna have this smelt all of that and not let it mix it up. Okay. And we're back down again. Now that I have ender pearls, I should prioritize making elevators so that I don't have to worry about these ladders anymore. Because the ladders are starting to get in the way. But, yeah. Need more of this mulch. We're gonna make more dirt. Because I need to make gravel, and I need to make sand. And then I'm gonna need a bunch of ender pearls. So it's gonna be a lot of me just standing here staring at blocks. So I think that this is where we'll probably call it for the end of the day. We're gonna start the melting of the mulch so that I will have all the required little squirty bits. Gross. I will have all of the required organic water to make the gravel. That ends today's episode of Seopolis Submerged 2. If you did enjoy, please scroll on down and hit the like and subscribe buttons. Leave me a comment of any tips and tricks that you have, or any mod packs that you want me to play once we're done with this one. My name is Veramnium, and this is me, signing off.